My favorite Christmas memory actually comes from the summer, which is kind of a crazy time to have a Christmas memory, but my birthday's around July. And in my early 20s, my mom came to me and gave me my normal little gift for my birthday, remembering all of that. And it took the time to apologize to me about how things had been so bad during the later part of my childhood for Christmas and for my birthday, and how that they had not been able to do as much for me, and all of these things that she thought were such a really big deal. And I remember really looking at her puzzled and replying, I don't know what you're talking about. She says, oh, when your dad went bankrupt and we weren't able to do as much for you when you were in your teen years, and I really feel bad about that. And I stopped her and I said, I really don't know what you're talking about. I remember that period of time, but I don't remember anything about not getting more gifts or better gifts. In fact, the main thing that I can remember about that time is that suddenly my dad was around a lot more. And I really liked that, and that was probably the greatest gift that I could ever receive.
I was probably about 6 years old, 7 years old. It was Christmas morning. My mom woke me up and said, it's snowing outside and it's Christmas. I was so excited. I ran outside in just a pair of shorts. Then my mom come chasing after me with the belt, telling me come back inside and get some clothes on. But it was a good morning. We got to see actual white Christmas and open up presents and spend time with the family.
So my greatest Christmas memory I'll never forget, one year there was this one gift that I really wanted, and my mom didn't want to let me have it, so my dad snuck me this Red Ryder. I'm just kidding, that was somebody else's memory. But I have so many great memories. Family was always the center of our holidays. We always made a point to drive back out of state to spend time with my grandmother, and so all of my Christmases are so special. But now I would have to say, since my wife and I were married on December 23rd, 1995, that my favorite Christmas was that first one that we spent together on a boat out in the ocean, and how special that time was, and it's made every Christmas since even more special.
Probably the best thing I've ever got for Christmas was my first computer, and that kind of spun off the hobby of getting into it. I think I was in the 6th grade, so it kind of gave me a hobby and a career out of it.
So my favorite Christmas memory has to be just a few years back whenever I got to experience Christmas with my son for the first time. And so Christmas was always a very special time at the house growing up, and had a lot of fun. And just to see the joy on his face, being able to open up his presents and play with the new toys and things like that, I think that's was an experience that I've wanted for a long time, and I'm glad I got to do it.
My favorite Christmas memory is really just being with all the family. I know a couple years ago I lost my sister, so one thing our family likes to do is get around on Christmas night and just watch old home movies from the past, and that way it kind of lets us have some peace of mind and get to spend Christmas with her.
Favorite Christmas memory? I don't think I have a memory, but the past few years having kids, my oldest daughter's 5 now, and every year she says, this is the best Christmas ever, and I think that makes it more special.
I would have to say, actually it happens every year. At my church, we do a big Christmas community event called the Field by Night, and I would say it's just really cool to see all the church pull together and the community come out and really have a good time enjoying a presentation. We do, sometimes it's like a whole performance with custom written scenes and lines, and with several actors and whatnot. And sometimes it's just music. And then afterwards, there's a big Christmas village afterwards where they're serving coffee and soups and cookies and making things for families. And it's a really great outreach tool that really reaches a lot of people, and everyone that comes loves it every year.
My favorite Christmas memory was a couple of years ago. I guess I need to start with the tradition. My grandmother would make Christmas cookies every year, and she passed away in 2007. And I kind of took it upon myself to try to do what I could to make those cookies for my family so they could still continue to enjoy that tradition. Specifically for my grandfather, because I felt like he really missed them, missed her. But I could only find the recipe for one of the Christmas cookie recipes. So a couple years ago, on Christmas Eve, I think it was, we had given out all the presents and there was a gift under the tree that was wrapped and said, "To Morgan from Grandma." Now, this has been, seven or so years since she had passed away. So I just immediately broke down in tears, couldn't handle it, a gift from beyond the grave. It was quite an emotional experience, and I opened it up and it was some of her cookbooks. And that meant a lot to me just because I'd taken on keeping up with her recipes and everything. But little did anyone know that I flipped through and there was a little postcard that had the missing Christmas cookie recipe on it. So every year since then, I've been baking her Christmas cookies. I stayed up last night doing it as well. And so the most treasured present I've ever gotten is probably a 10-cent postcard, but it means the world to me.
My fondest Christmas memory was technically my first Christmas memory. When I was 16, my dad got remarried and apparently married the Christmas woman. Her whole family loves Christmas, so going from not doing Christmas to doing Christmas, I got attacked with a cat, two new stepbrothers, and I think my stepmom all hopped in the bed and just started shaking me and screaming it's Christmas time. So that stuck with me for, I guess, 14 years now. It's still the Christmas memory that sticks out the most.